Boker Tov, good morning. We continue with our 3-minute daily dose of Torah. Yesterday, we looked at the Mishnah, which told us that in the Beis Hamikdash, they would actually blow shofar differently than we do, right? The way we blow shofar is there's a shofar blower, and that's how it works. But in the Beis Hamikdash, there were 3 people standing there. One was the person blowing the shofar, and 2 trumpeters were on the side, and the trumpeters would fade off while the shofar continues, because that's the mitzvah of the day. The Gemara says, I don't understand how this works. We have a principle in halacha that trei kali lo mishtami, that the ear can't really distinguish two different sounds. We know this to be true. Anybody who has been in a room with more than one person knows that it's not simple to have one person talking and somebody else talking and trying to hear what they're saying. It is really hard. You can't make out really either conversation when people are talking. And the same for the shofar and the chatzotzrot. Gemara says well, maybe you'll say that the continuation here is that the shofar keeps on blowing after the chatzotzrot, and at least you hear the final sound of the shofar. And the Gemara rejects that because you have to hear the sound of the shofar from start to finish. So that can't be the answer. So what is the answer? So Gemara ultimately suggests this, that when it's chaviv, when something is chaviv, is beloved to you, then you can hear it. Then you're able to hear it. So, for example, if 2 people are reading the Megillah at one time, we generally don't allow for 2 people reading publicly at once. So Torah, for example, but because the mitzvah of Megillah was so beloved to people, they were able to do it. What does it mean they're able to do it? It means that their focusing capacity is charged up. They are hyper attentive and hyper focused, and they're able to distinguish that which they really want to hear. So the trumpets are lovely, they're nice, but your ear is going to be able to pick up that shofar from start to finish. That's the argument. And so we know how it feels. We know how it feels as we stand on Rosh Hashanah. And even though we've been blowing shofar each morning here and all the days of Elul, we stand on Rosh Hashanah. There are so many different feelings that are emerging for us, I imagine, as that shofar is sounded, the ones we've talked about to some degree already. Part of it simply is, this is a sacred moment. This is a sacred, holy, beloved moment that I stand here, and you stand there, and I stand there, and the person standing blowing the shofar, and we connect to the shofar in a certain way that grows out of that beloved connection. That we connect this, right? It grows out of that beloved sense of the shofar, and we can hear it even above the din of other sounds. May God hear our shofar sounds in the same way as well. Have a great day.